Have you ever wondered why the civilization that gave the world democracy, philosophy, and the Olympics failed? Picture a society that was the beacon of enlightenment, a civilization that was the cradle of some of the most significant developments in human history. This is ancient Greece, a civilization that proudly stood at the crossroads of the world, leading the way in numerous fields of human endeavor. It was a civilization that blossomed like a bright flower in the vast garden of antiquity, offering a bouquet of wisdom, culture, and innovation. From the hallowed halls of Athens, where philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle questioned the very essence of existence, to the athletic fields of Olympia, where the spirit of competition and camaraderie was celebrated in the form of the Olympics. From the birth of democracy, a form of governance that still shapes our world today, to the creation of epic literary works like the Iliad and the Odyssey that continue to inspire and entertain. Indeed, the Greek civilization was a marvel of its time, a shining city on a hill that illuminated the world with its brilliance. But as with all great empires, it too had its moment in the sun before it began its slow and puzzling descent into the pages of history. The decline of the Greek civilization is a conundrum that has puzzled historians for centuries. How could a civilization that was so advanced, so influential, and so rich in culture and knowledge fall into decline? What were the factors that led to its downfall? Were there warning signs that were ignored, or was it a sudden and shocking turn of events? These are questions that have intrigued scholars and history enthusiasts alike, sparking countless theories and debates. Yet, the mystery remains, shrouded in a veil of uncertainty and speculation. Join us as we journey through time to unravel the mystery of the fall of the Greek civilization. Together, we will traverse the labyrinth of history, seeking answers to these intriguing questions and exploring the enigmatic tale of a civilization that, despite its fall, continues to influence and shape our world today. The Greek civilization flourished in the Golden Age, a period marked by significant advancements. This era, nestled in the 5th and 4th centuries BCE, was an epoch of greatness, where the foundations of several fields we know today were firmly planted in the fertile soils of Hellenic thought and culture. In the political realm, the Golden Age witnessed the birth of democracy, the concept of governance by the people, in the city-state of Athens. It was a revolutionary idea that defied the autocratic norms of the time. The Athenians, under the leadership of Pericles, introduced the idea that every citizen had a voice and a role to play in the affairs of the state. This democratic experiment would later inspire countless nations around the globe. But the Golden Age was not just about political innovation, it was also a time of intellectual awakening. The birth of philosophy occurred in this era, with the likes of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, questioning the world around them and seeking answers to life's most profound mysteries. Their philosophical inquiries laid the groundwork for the Western philosophical tradition and continue to influence thinkers today. In the realm of sports and entertainment, the Golden Age saw the inception of the Olympic Games. This grand event, dedicated to the Olympian gods, brought together athletes from all over Greece to compete in a variety of sports. It was a testament to the Greeks' love for physical prowess and athletic competition. Yet, the Golden Age was not a time of unbroken peace and prosperity. Beneath the surface of these advancements, tensions were brewing. Political differences, social inequality, and territorial disputes were all part of the complex tapestry of this era. These issues, though often overlooked amidst the glories of the Golden Age, would later contribute to the unraveling of the Greek civilization. But even during this period of prosperity, the seeds of downfall were unknowingly being sown. The Golden Age, for all its brilliance, was also the starting point for a journey towards decline, a journey that would forever alter the course of the Greek civilization. The unity of the Greek city-states was a fragile one, marred by rivalry and conflict. Despite the common culture, language, and religion that bound them together, the Greek city-states were far from unified. They were independent entities, each with their own governments, economies, and armies. Their relationships with each other were often strained, marked by a constant jostling for power and influence. This tension was particularly pronounced between Athens and Sparta, the two most powerful city-states. Athens, the birthplace of democracy, was a beacon of culture and intellect, renowned for its advancements in philosophy, arts, and sciences. It was a maritime power with a formidable navy, its wealth amassed through trade and tribute from its allies in the Delian League. Sparta, on the other hand, was a militaristic society. Its citizens were trained warriors, disciplined and resilient. Unlike Athens, Sparta was a landlocked city-state, its power rooted in its fearsome army. It led the Peloponnesian League, an alliance of city-states that resisted Athenian hegemony. These stark contrasts in their societies and ideologies led to an inevitable clash. The Peloponnesian War, a protracted and bloody conflict that lasted for 27 years, was a manifestation of this deep-seated rivalry. It was a war that saw alliances shift, fortunes change, and city-states devastated. The war ended with the defeat of Athens, but it was a Pyrrhic victory for Sparta. The Greek city-states were left weakened and divided, their resources drained, their populations decimated. The unity that they had so tenuously held onto had been shattered. The Peloponnesian War was more than just a conflict between Athens and Sparta. It was a struggle for dominance among the Greek city-states, a struggle that would ultimately lead to their downfall. The seeds of discord, once sown, had grown into a bitter harvest. The Peloponnesian War marked a turning point, setting the stage for the decline of the Greek civilization. The Peloponnesian War was a devastating conflict that weakened the Greek city-states. In the heart of the 5th century BC, tension was brewing between two Greek powerhouses, the democratic Athens and the military state of Sparta. This hostility erupted into a full-blown conflict known as the Peloponnesian War, a war that spanned nearly 3 decades and left a lasting impact on the Greek civilization. Unpacking the war's profound effect, we first turn to the city-states themselves. Once united against the mighty Persian Empire, these city-states now found themselves at odds, torn apart by the very power struggles that had once propelled them to greatness. Athens and its Delian League stood on one side, while Sparta and its Peloponnesian League took the other. The unity that had defined the Greek world was now a distant memory, replaced by a war-torn landscape of division and strife. The war did not just divide the Greeks, it drained them. The financial and human costs were immense. Athens, for example, saw its treasury depleted, its population decimated by plague, and its once mighty navy destroyed. Sparta, too, paid a heavy price. Its population dwindled due to the relentless warfare, and its economy suffered under the strain of a prolonged conflict. But the impact of the Peloponnesian War went beyond the immediate damage. It left a lasting imprint on Greek society and culture. The war marked the end of the classical period, a time of great intellectual and artistic achievement. The loss of unity and strength among the city-states also led to a decline in the democratic ideals that had flourished in Athens. Power was increasingly concentrated in the hands of a few, leading to the rise of oligarchy and tyranny. The war's end did not bring relief, but rather a precarious instability. The city-states were weakened, their unity shattered, and their resources depleted. In this state of vulnerability, they were ill-prepared to face the rising powers on their borders, leaving the Greek civilization exposed to external threats. In the aftermath of the war, the Greek civilization was left vulnerable to external threats. The weakened Greek city-states fell prey to the rising power of the Macedonians. In the north of the Greek peninsula, there was a kingdom that was growing in strength and ambition. This was Macedonia, a realm that had been considered a backwater by the sophisticated city-states of southern Greece. But under the rule of Philip II, Macedonia was about to emerge from the shadows and change the course of history. Philip II ascended to the throne in the mid-4th century BCE, at a time when the Greek city-states were in disarray after the Peloponnesian War. He saw this as an opportunity to extend his influence. Philip II was not only a shrewd politician, but also a military innovator. He reformed the Macedonian army, introducing changes in tactics and equipment that would make it a formidable fighting force. But Philip's ambitions extended beyond military conquest. He sought to unify Greece under his rule not by force alone, but also through diplomacy and marriage alliances. He married multiple times, strategically aligning himself with powerful Greek families and city-states. In the year 338 before the Common Era, Philip's efforts culminated in the Battle of Chaeronea, where the combined forces of Athens and Thebes were defeated. This victory marked the end of the independence of the Greek city-states. Philip's reign, however, was cut short by an assassin's blade. His son Alexander inherited his father's empire and his ambitions. But that's a tale for another time. The rise of Macedonia under Philip II was a turning point in Greek history. It marked the end of the era of independent city-states and the beginning of a period of imperial rule. The Greek world was now united under a single ruler, but at the cost of its freedom and autonomy. With the fall of the city-states, the Greek civilization was effectively subsumed under the Macedonian Empire. The golden age of Athens and Sparta was over, but their legacy would live on, influencing the Macedonians and, through them, the wider world. The final blow to the Greek civilization came with the rise of the Roman Empire. Indeed, the Romans, with their military might and imperial ambition, proved to be an insurmountable force for the once great Greek city-states. By the 2nd century BC, the Romans had already established their dominance in the Italian peninsula and were looking to extend their influence further. The Greek city-states, weakened by years of infighting and the rise of the Macedonians, were easy targets. The Romans began their conquest of Greece by first allying with some city-states, using diplomacy and promises of protection to gain their trust. But as the Romans grew stronger, they began to show their true colors. The alliances turned into dominations. The once proud and independent city-states found themselves under the rule of a foreign power. The Romans, known for their admiration of Greek culture, did not completely obliterate it. Instead, they incorporated elements of it into their own civilization. Greek philosophy, art, and science were all adopted and adapted by the Romans, but the Greek political and social structures were dismantled. The Battle of Corinth in 146 BC marked the formal end of the Greek city-states. The Romans, under the command of Lucius Mummius, razed the city to the ground. The once vibrant hub of Greek culture and commerce was reduced to ashes, its inhabitants killed or sold into slavery. This was a clear message to the rest of Greece: resist Rome and face destruction. The final nail in the coffin came with the establishment of the Roman province of Achaia in 27 BC. This marked the complete absorption of Greece into the Roman Empire. The Greek city-states, once the cradle of democracy and philosophy, were now mere provinces in an empire. Under Roman rule, the Greek civilization, as it was known, ceased to exist. The culture and ideas lived on, absorbed into the fabric of the Roman Empire, but the political and social structures that defined the Greek civilization were gone. The final blow had been dealt, and an era had come to an end. The fall of the Greek civilization marked the end of an era, but not the end of its influence. In the grand tapestry of human history, few civilizations shine as brightly as Greece. Though its dominion has long since faded, its legacy endures, woven into the very fabric of our modern world. Let's take a moment to appreciate the lasting gifts of this remarkable civilization. First and foremost, Greece bestowed upon us the concept of democracy. The city-state of Athens, in particular, was the crucible where the idea of governance by the people, for the people, was first kindled. Today, this flame of democracy burns brightly in nations across the globe, a living testament to the enduring influence of the Greeks. Equally significant is the Greek contribution to philosophy. Intellectual giants like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle grappled with profound questions of existence, morality, and knowledge. Their insights continue to guide us, forming the bedrock of Western philosophical thought. We continue to debate their ideas, to refine them, and to build upon them, carrying forward their intellectual torch in our quest for wisdom. And then there are the Olympics. Born in the fertile valleys of Olympia, these games were a tribute to the Greek gods, a testament to the human spirit's competitive prowess. Today, the Olympics transcend national boundaries, uniting the world in a celebration of athleticism and sportsmanship. The spirit of the ancient Greeks echoes in every cheer, every medal, and every record broken. The echoes of Greece civilization resonate in our art, our architecture, our language, and even our scientific lexicon. From the majestic columns of the Parthenon to the dramatic tragedies of Sophocles, from the mathematical theorems of Pythagoras to the Hippocratic oath sworn by doctors, the fingerprints of Greece are indelibly imprinted on our culture. The fall of the Greece civilization is a tale of rise and decline, but its legacy continues to shape the world we live in today. To gaze upon our world is to gaze upon a panorama painted in part by the hands of the ancient Greeks. Indeed, the flame of Greece, though extinguished, still casts long shadows, shaping the contours of our present and our future. The fall of the Greece civilization was a complex process, driven by internal conflicts and external threats. As we've journeyed through time, we've uncovered the radiant golden age, an era of prosperity and intellectual flowering that gave birth to democracy, philosophy, and the arts. Yet, beneath this glittering surface lay the seeds of discord, tensions that eventually ignited the devastating Peloponnesian War. This internal strife weakened Greece, paving the way for the rise of the Macedonians. Yet, this was not the end. The final blow came in the form of external threats, as Greece was absorbed into the growing empires of the East. Yet even in its downfall, Greece left behind a legacy unforgotten, its rich culture and revolutionary ideas shaping societies and civilizations to come. The Greece civilization may have fallen, but its impact on the world remains undiminished. Its echoes resonate through time, reminding us of the power and potential of human civilization.